Hi, welcome to Tech Infinity. In this video, we are going to learn about the sum and the average function of Excel. To use these functions will require some data, and here we go. I'll be inputting some data. We'll take an example of a simple school mark sheet. Let's start with roll number. We assume that you know how to do some basic data entry. This is some random marks that I'm putting for the subject maths. Now let's say science, again some marks. SS, and let's take a language, let's say English. Let's give good marks to the student. Now we want total over here. We want, let's say, average, and similarly over here also we'll take total and we'll take average. Over here we want total for all the 4 subjects of roll number 1. Now the marks of roll number 1 are at 4 different locations. First location is this, which is known as B2, the cell B2, then C2, D2 and E2. These are the 4 locations for which we want the total over here. Now there are many ways of doing this. The first basic thing is, let's say we want total over here. So I'll place the cursor over here or the cell pointer. I'll type equal to address plus C2 plus D2 plus E2. Now you see I have put equal to sign, which indicates that I want to start a formula or I want Excel to do some calculation. So to that, for doing that, you have to indicate it by giving a equal to sign. The first thing you see is I have written B2, which is the address of that cell in which the roll number 1 maths marks are there. Then C2 science marks, D2 SS marks, and E2 contains the English subject marks of roll number 1. Now if I press enter over here, what you will see is the total. So what Excel has done is given you the summation of these 4 cells. The numbers are there in those 4 cells. Excel has calculated the total of it, which comes to 231. Okay, now same thing I can do here over here also. Equal to B2 plus B3 plus B4 plus B5 and plus B6. B2 is the marks of roll number 1 of maths. B3 contains the marks of roll number 2 of the subject maths. Similarly, of roll number 3, roll number 4 and roll number 5, and if I press enter over here, I'll get the whole class total. So let's say there are 5 students, but if there were 50 students, then I would have got over here the total of all 50 students. Now the total over here won't be of much use. Over here will require average. So in this we'll come to know what are the average marks that students get in subject maths, in science, in SS and in English. We'll see, we'll come to that. Okay, now over here we have not used any function of Excel. Now there is a function called SUM, which is very easy to use. I'll show you how to use. We'll again start with equal to, write SUM, open the brackets, put the address B3, then put a colon and put the ending address, that is E3. So in this what we have said is I want the totaling to be done from the cell starting at B3 ending at E3. So what comes between B3 and E3? So between B3 and E3 comes is C3 and D3 also. So when you put a colon, it actually means 2. So B3 2 or up to E3, and just press enter, and again you are getting the marks over here, that is 306, which is the total of this 4. Now this is very helpful. This particular function, the sum, the function which you have used, SUM, is a function of Excel. It is very helpful. I'll show you why it is helpful. Let's say over here I want the total of this 5 students of the marks of science. So I'll say equal to sum, open brackets, the first cell is C2 colon, and correct, it is C6. Close the brackets and press enter. So over here you have given C2 and then directly C6. So there were 5 students and you got the total. If there are 50 students, again it would have been very simple for you. Let's say you over here equal to sum C2 colon, let's say C28, close the brackets and press enter, and over here you get the total of all the numbers that are falling between C2 to C28. I'll press escape because I don't want this to continue, so I'll press escape. This will go away. This was just an example. So in this case you can see over here in this it's equal to sum C2 to C6, and in this case it is equal to B2 plus B3. So over here manually you have to put the address of each and every cell. So this becomes very cumbersome for you, and this also can open the doors for errors. You may misspell over here something and then there are errors in it, so you don't want that to happen. So use a function instead of this kind of thing. Use a function. The function that we used is sum, which means summation, which means totaling. It's very simple. Similarly, if you want average over here, average is very simple. Total divided by number of subjects in this case. So over here what we can do is I can just say equal to, where is our total? Total is in F2. So I'll use the word F2, I'll use the address F2, and I'll put a division sign and the number 4 because there are only 4 number of subjects. So I'll use the number 4 and press enter. So what I got over here is average of this 4 subjects. So the average marks that roll number 1 gets is 57.75 per subject. Now over here also I can do the same thing, equal to the total is in B7 divided by how many students? So let's say 5. There are 5 students, so I have to write 5 only over here. So equal to B7 divided by 5 and enter. So average marks is 68 for students in the subject maths. Now let's say you want to do averaging of this particular roll number, that is roll number 3, but we do not have total over here. We have not yet created total, but I want average. So there is a function called average. So equal to average, you write the word average, open, and over here the first is B4, so B4 colon, and the last is over here E4, and press enter, and what you got is the average. So by using the function average of Excel over here we got the average. So in this we do not have to tell Excel that how many subjects were there or how many students were there, that it will do it for you. Over here we'll use the same function, equal to average, open. Now instead of writing C2, what I'll do is I'll give a click over here, so it will automatically pick up that address. Then I'll put a colon and another click on at the end and close, enter. You see over here in science the average is 70, in maths it is 68. So this is how we use the function sum and the function average. Now going one step further, what I can do is I want the sum for this 3 also. Now instead of manually putting function in each of them, I'll come here. You can see there is a small rectangle kind of box over here. I'll click the button and I'll drag it down and I'll release it. This is known as autofill. So what it does is when I drag it from here, it copies the function which is there in this particular cell into the next cell and so on. Now while copying, what it does smartly is it changes the address. For example, over here the formula was B3 to E3. Now when I copied with autofill over here, you can see this thing has changed and it has become now B4 to E4. Over here it has become B5 to E5, B6 to E6. Now we did not do this manually. Excel did it very smartly. Similarly, I can do the same thing over here. I can just drag this over here up to here and this up to here. So you can see very quickly how quickly we can do the work over here. Similarly, I want this, and I can drag it up also. So over here we have got the average, we have got the total marks. Now another thing over here what you can do is, suppose the marks of science of roll number 2 is 67, actually it is 70. So what if I change this 67 to 70? Will it change over here also? There are four things, there are four dependent formulas on this particular cell. So let's do this and see whether this and this do they change. So over here you can see it is 306, 76.5, 350 and 70. When I change this 67 to 70, now you can see this was 306 has now become 309. This has also changed, and this two also have changed. So what happens is, this thing, the whole thing, this is a dynamic area. Anything you change over here, the effect will be seen automatically on all the dependent formulas. Thank you. If you have liked this video, then don't forget to subscribe to our channel Tech Infinity for other such short and concrete videos. Kindly do write about this video in the comment section. I'll make it a point to reply to you. Also, if it is not too much of asking, a click on the like button will be really appreciated. Thank you once again.